Good news, Mick Jagger is already back on his feet apparently after that the heart surgery or procedure that he had. So
that guy's a champion.
Dude, he cannot sit still. He's
never going to die, man.
He's immortal. Him and Keith Richards, even if a nuclear holocaust happens, cockroaches and Keith Richards, guaranteed. And I'll throw Mick in there. And then the song that you heard afterwards was Salt Lake City by the Beach Boys. And then the song that you just heard was It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Train to Cry, Bob Dylan off of Highway 61 Revisited, one of his most acclaimed albums. And now Shawn and I have come back. We rescued someone from a burning house across the street during that commercial break. Man, it's hard doing this crazy stuff out here, man. Being a hero to people.
It's hard,
I mean,
Division I athlete, Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was carrying like at least 3 people like on my back. That was just classic like weight room squat. My 305 max.
Just being a good stand-up citizen of society.
Doing
my part.
Okay, Shawn, what are some movies or shows? You know what? Just throw any type of visual media that you want right now that have kind of been on your mind lately.
What's been on my mind? I was just telling Chris during our break.
No, when we were rescuing people.
Sorry. When we were taking our break from rescuing people to go help other people, that kind of stuff. I was telling him I just got into Game of Thrones. I just finished up season 1, binge watched it this past weekend. Man, I'll tell you something. I get the hype behind that show. It's not safe for work, graphic, wouldn't show it to your kids, a lot of sex, mature stuff, but I would recommend anyone to just give that show a shot, watch the first 5 episodes, and if you aren't captured, if you aren't enamored by what you see, I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing I can do to help you.
I just want to say I hate all of you because here's why. I was telling Shawn this as well. When we were taking a breather, we're like, we were just running 12 flights of stairs and everything.
Right.
We gotta take a breather, and I tell him, like, listen. You know what I hate? I hate how back in the day I was out here playing the Elder Scrolls, RuneScape, all these like kind of medieval fantasy games. Yeah, I'm getting called a nerd. Dude, you're never gonna get laid in your life. Like all this stuff, right? I mean, there were games for the age I'm playing. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal, but that's pretty expansive. I mean, most kids. It's a very specific group that kind of gets in those games. Yeah, nerds too. I mean, I guess I'm a nerd. But,
no shame.
But it's funny, all of that, the stigma with that, with dragons and everything, just totally roasted. And now everyone's like, oh, dude, Game of Thrones, can't wait. Everyone and their mother's watching that show.
You know what they did? It's just because they put attractive people in the show.
Yeah, that's what it takes. That's what it takes to all you gullible people. God, you know what depresses me? It shows again how easy it is to just get. You need an attractive face.
If I was 3
sex sells. I mean, I'm gonna have to throw some very dissatisfied discourse here about how easy it is to win people.
But it's the truth, man. It's the truth. If anyone tells you that looks don't matter, you got to be able to present yourself because the first impression before you open up your mouth is your physical appearance, unless you're talking to a blind person.
Yeah,
it's what sells, man. Let's not ignore it.
And also, I mean, Game of Thrones. I mean, I guess another way. One's a video game, one's more video game oriented, and the other one cinematography and amazing shots and everything. But wait, I got to actually kind of retract my statement a bit because Lord of the Rings was pretty huge in its heyday.
Yeah,
when
that's
it ran
true.
So,
but Lord of the Rings, I think.
But again, they were very extensive movies.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a little bit of a no-go for deal breaker for some people. So I'll say Game of Thrones is way more accessible than Lord of the Rings.
It started off as a book, I believe.
Yeah, it did. It started off as a book and then it expanded.
It followed a Harry Potter arc. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, Harry Potter. Granted, more so wizards with magic and everything. Yeah. But again, I'd say it also was more accessible than Lord of the Rings.
Into that nerd.
Yeah, it's a fantasy aspect of it, but. Yeah, I mean, Game of Thrones, you're definitely right about the attractive cast there. I was just telling you, I just got done watching the first episode. So I'm a brand new. I've officially sold myself out. I was honestly, I'm not trying to act like, dude, I'm punk here by doing this, but I was trying to resist for a while. Like, all right, man, I'm gonna wait for this just ridiculous circus to clear up of everyone hyping this up, and then I'll go check it out. I'll be one of the laggers. They call that a lagger.
The lagger. Yeah.
I'm gonna be a lagger and just get here when it's time, or no, laggard. Excuse me, laggard.
With the B,
with the laggard. But anyways, so I gave in. I watched the first episode, And I'm not going to lie, I was pretty blown away. I thought it was great. The acting was great. It was funny. Definitely already we start to see the classic sexual explicit content that comes with it. Even in the first show, I mean, I'm seeing a dwarf in a brothel. A dwarf is out here just nailing like just one chick to begin with, and then like 4 other just women go into the scene, and it's a dwarf, man. I'm looking
That's
at
how
that.
times were back then. If you were a king, it didn't matter how tall you were, how
if you were the royal descent, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at that, and I'm like, man, that is an inspiration for undersized fellas everywhere.
Wow. But yeah, man, Game of Thrones has been great. I've been. All right, so you talk about movies.
I mean, do you have anything else you want to say about GOT?
No,
I'm going to start saying GOT because I'm like already getting into it.
That's a slang. Yeah. I just finished up season 1, so I'm not going to say too much, and especially if you're here. Cause if I start talking about it, I want to go into the details. True, yeah. I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
You're going to tell me, King Murloc, dude, he dies in episode 6. I mean, that's not even a character. I just made that up. I just threw that out.
Get it together, man. Get your facts right.
I just want to throw out a name. I'm not even familiar with all the characters yet, honestly.
Yeah, I think...
That first episode was a lot to digest. I mean, I'm seeing so many people. I'm like,
a lot of different story, like just a lot of different people, a lot of different characters. I think it's best for everyone to just you don't talk about it, don't read about it, just go watch it and get through the first 5. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But get through the first 5, leave it at that. That's 5 hours of your life.
Yeah, give it a chance. You got to at least give it a chance. You got to give it a chance.
But as far as like movies, man, I've been going back to classic movies. I've been rewatching some of my favorites. All-time favorite, shout out to Joe Knight for putting me on, Goodfellas. All-time favorite movie, best movie of all time. We got a fist pump by Ramos. I know he's excited. Ramos, where do you rank Goodfellas on your movie list, man?
Can I? I hate to kill the climax here, but I play this. This is a real quick station ID though. You're I mean, I don't even got to turn off our mics for this one here.
Greetings, citizens. I'm Space Ghost, and you're listening to my favorite radio station.
Black Squirrel Radio, that is, of Space Ghost. Nice. So, what I want to say is Goodfellas. Okay, where do I put it in my movie list?
Or you could give me your top 3 or 5.
Top 3 or 5?
I'll give you mine, too.
I'll tell you... we're gonna. Man, that's a tough one. I gotta dig it out here. All right, let me address the first point, and then I'm gonna have to take a few minutes to like really think this over. But Goodfellas, I will put that honestly in my top 5. Goodfellas is one of those movies that I've seen multiple times. Right. It still doesn't get old when I see it. Like, it's just so refreshing each time I watch it. Granted, I do leave a decent interval when I watch it in between, but to me, it's Scorsese's best movie. The cast is astounding. The soundtrack to it is great, and I just love how fast-paced that movie is. Yep. I mean, it's from one scene to the next. I mean, it's engaging. It keeps you like really kind of zoned in. Right. Henry Hill and Karen, like their dysfunctional relationship. I mean, it's dysfunctional, it's disturbing at times, but it's also so like kind of cute. Like it is
cute. Yeah,
it has a cute aspect to it. And
they never really gave up on each other.
They never did, really. Yeah, they held each other down through thick and thin.
You need a good woman to help you in your life.
Yeah, and Henry Hill, like he realized he'd be in the wrong at times, would be apologetic to Karen. I mean, yeah, they were there throughout the. I mean, that's like the Pablo Escobar narco. I don't want to drag a show into this here, but it is a little reminiscent. But anyways, I love Goodfellas, man. I think Pesci, De Niro, Liotta. What?
Pesci and De Niro might be my favorite duo.
Oh, they're such a good combo. They killed in Casino too. Casino was great.
Amazing. Casino is also my top.
I love Casino. Wow. I will have to put Goodfellas just because I thought it was just. I don't think it loses its footing at all throughout the entire movie. I think from the very beginning to the end, you are just zoned in. You're like in a different world, I swear, dude. That movie's hypnotic.
And it's also one of those movies that if you see it now, it makes you want to go and research about things that happened in that time. I find myself pausing the movie after I'd seen it a couple times and, looking up on Wikipedia. Oh, Henry Hill was a real person. Oh, this guy was a real person. Like, all this stuff that happened was real. And you just dig you just go further into that rabbit hole. So I think anything that helps you, like that encourages you to want to learn more about
the Lufthansa heist.
Crazy.
Like the biggest heist in the movie. If you haven't seen this, Lufthansa heist, biggest heist, what was it? Like, I think it happened in 1970, 71 at the JFK International Airport. I forget how many millions of dollars were seized.
At the time, I think. Is it still the biggest heist?
It actually might be. I don't know. That is something that'd be worth looking up.
Yeah.
I could put that in here right now.
Yeah, you
Somebody play the Jeopardy theme song right now.
You know what, man? I gotta add one more thing. Also, iconic scenes in that movie. They're sitting in a jail cell.
It is not. It is not. There was the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist, which was $200 million, and that was in Boston.
But Lufthansa was second?
I don't know where it ranks here. I just know that's the biggest one. This one that occurred.
Lufthansa's the only one that matters. All right?
Yeah, Lufthansa's the only one we're gonna acknowledge because it's the only one that's relevant here, all right, folks?
Right.
And it was huge, though. But it was huge, and like just seeing that in the context of the movie kind of blew my mind. I'm like, okay, I want to look into this, and just to see like the fact that the Lufthansa heist did happen, the fact that really this ragtag, well, I shouldn't say ragtag, but the fact that organized crime.
It was ragtag.
I mean, it was ragtag to a certain extent, but they all still called to the crime boss. I mean, it's still organized crime, and it's in the bigger picture. And for organized crime to have that much power, to literally just seize that much money, shows the extent of like, wow.
Paid off the cops.
That is so. They literally had a city by the balls. They literally had, and the whole country is just like throwing their arms out. They're just so baffled, like they're confused how this happened. You know, like can we and even for the law, it must have been really frustrating being in law enforcement, being a detective, and you had the hunch that like you knew certain people were in on it, but you just had no evidence to press against them.
And you couldn't even if you did have evidence, you couldn't bring it up.
Yeah, you'd have to really be backed by a lot of people. Otherwise, man, hey, you're not seeing tomorrow's sunrise. Like,
yeah, man.
Hey,
that's
the mafia's right in the news, man. Hey, he's gonna be dead tomorrow. I mean, seriously,
that's true, man.
It's crazy. So, on Goodfellas, seriously, I think it's my favorite mob movie.
Right.
I think it's fantastic, and that's all I gotta say about Goodfellas.
I'd say another movie that's not even out yet that I already know is gonna be great. Endgame, Avengers. Oh. I just saw all the cutscenes. Avengers, the Marvel Twitter put it up. Saw all the cutscenes, man. I am so excited for that movie. I think that movie is supposed to be 3 hours long. I think if that movie wraps up that franchise in the right way, I think it probably will go down as my favorite movie franchise of all time. I'm
bringing a TV dinner when I go see it. I mean, 3 hours, too, Jesus. Man. I'm bringing a TV dinner. I'm bringing a blanket, maybe a pillow, because that's a long movie. But no, you're right. With the runtime, I didn't even notice Infinity War's runtime really stick out that much to me.
It didn't feel like
you really do get sucked into that movie. So you're right. And dude, it's crazy. My brother was looking at trying to opening week, just not happening. Even on Sunday, like even on a mild Sunday, just
I bought
not
mine
happening.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's when I had to buy mine.
Dude, that is so. It's literally weeks in advance that tickets were flying off the shelves, and literally my brother couldn't find it anywhere. Not even in Akron, out Chicago Falls. Like literally, just every place is pretty much packed, and like that just shows. That first of all, Marvel, the money they have and the marketing that they can put in is just astounding. But also, I mean the movie itself. I mean this cast that they have assembled is just. I mean, did you think? I want to ask everyone right now something that's very important to kind of address here. Did any of us really think that it would come down to Paul Rudd having to come to save the universe? And I love Paul Rudd. Listen, I love Paul Rudd. I love Paul Rudd.
That's so funny.
I know some people. I'm not going to name their names, but they slander on Paul Rudd. But I love it. I'm here for it. Paul Rudd from Wet Hot American Summer. He's here to save the day, and I'm here for it.
Wow,
that's all I got to say.
Wow, I completely forgot about Wet Hot American Summer, dude.
And he's here. That guy, that's the same fellow that's going to be saving the universe.
They did 2 of those. They just dropped another one like a year ago from that.
Okay, you know who? I didn't even know that. Wait, who's in that one? Is it the same cast?
Paul Rudd's in it, man.
Oh, what?
Paul Rudd is 100%. It's on Netflix. They did a reboot.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper there again in there in the cut. I hope
think
so.
Brad Cooper's in it, man.
Okay, I mean, still, even I didn't even know they did a reboot.
But I think it just goes to show. I think any movie where it's that long and the audience members are still craving more and still like they don't feel like it's been 3 hours, that just goes to show you how good that movie is. Like, I've seen long movies. Lincoln. I fell asleep in Lincoln. You know, it was a 3-hour movie. You know, I didn't really, you know, it wasn't exciting for me. You know, that's just my kind of thing. I've seen long movies. And the Endgame movie is getting a lot of flack for it being 3.5 hours. People want to cut it down. Some people want to add more. But I think it's going to be great, man. I'm so excited. That's the only thing that's getting me through this week. Is knowing
when are you? What day are you seeing it?
Friday, Cuyahoga Falls.
Friday. This man got a marquee night. Marquee night. Wow.
You know, I don't play around. Like I said, I bought these 2 weeks ago. Got my seats picked out.
What's the show time? Is it 7?
I think it's like a 7 or 6 o'clock or 7. I think.
Okay, yeah, it'll be out at a reasonable time. So
shout out my sister. She bought the tickets. Wow. I just kind of I gave the approval. I said to go ahead. I cleared the schedule. But yeah, man, I think, dude, I'll be honest with you. I'm really getting into like movie franchises. When I say classic, I went back, rewatched Fast and Furious. Way too many of them. But man, that's a good franchise.
I do remember that the early ones, at least the first few Fast and Furious movies, I do remember it's kind of a sentimental value. I remember them being on my living room and all. But I honestly have never gotten into the Fast and Furious franchise.
I've never, because I'm not a car guy. I don't know the specs about cars. You know, if it gets me from point A to point B, I'm a happy camper, right? But looking at Fast and Furious, and it also led me to do more research, I did not realize how big, or I guess prevalent is a word you can use too, for how big the street racing competitions and lifestyle was. That was an accurate thing. It happened in Cleveland too. You would have guys racing down the highways in their Toyotas and all that stuff. I wish I could have been like, you know, an adult for that. I feel like that would have been cool. You go to the street, you see all these nice muscle cars parked out, you got the good looking girls, and then you just see these 2 cars race off. You know, I think that's crazy, man. I feel like that'd be so cool to witness.
That would be very cool to witness. I would love to be definitely a spectator, never a participant, but a spectator, yeah. And that kind of even goes back even further, too. That goes back to the 50s when there was a cruising culture, what they called in America, with hot rods. With cars, just, I don't know, cars have been kind of a pillar, really, of American society. Right. Like, there's always, and I think it goes back to the larger picture of, like, of mankind with machine, just kind of a weird fascination we have, almost a fetish, if you will, with it.
Yeah, because we always try to improve on things. Yeah, we always just try that innovation thing. Yeah, I forgot about the cruise, how big the T-birds and all that.
Yeah. So I mean, for that, and I honestly didn't even know like street racing had a root in Cleveland. So
yeah, but it had roots all over the country. I didn't really. North Dakota, South Dakota, all those kinds of places.
Jeez, man.
They would have
North Dakota, what are they raising? John Deere tractors out there? Oh, my God.
Come on.
I mean, seriously.
Give North Dakota some credit. Oh, man.
Yeah, I give them NDSU, I guess.
NDSU, yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
FBS champs.
Yeah, way to plug
or
that
FCS.
one. You made sure you got the NDSU plug in. Yeah.
Was a Roll Bison. You know what's another... And this movie slept on, man. I guarantee a lot of people, I feel like, just aren't hip to this banger because it's a very long movie and it's like a very slow burner too. But De Niro's in it, James Wood is in it. I think it still might be James Woods, excuse me. It still might be on Netflix. It's called Once Upon a Time in America.
I've never seen it.
And dude, it is such a beautiful movie. The score directed with the movie is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It might move you to tears. There's even like an instrumental like orchestral version of Yesterday by the Beatles, ironic, like crazy enough. But nice. it's just dude, De Niro and James Woods are crazy in that movie. They kill it, and it's a really, really good movie. There's another one called Once Upon a Time in the West. I did not see that one. It's disconnected, obviously. There's no like direct correlation between the two, but it's same director. And then speaking about Once Upon a Times, a new movie that's coming out July 28th, or July 30th, excuse me. I think it's July 30th, is by Mr. Quentin Tarantino, and it is titled Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And this cast, the trailer, teaser trailer was released for it, the other day, and I watched it. And I'm like, why did I do this to myself, man? I just want to watch the movie. Like
it's DiCaprio.
Okay,
Pitt.
No, I gotta say, everyone. Like, I literally gotta pull up House.
I saw the trailer and I didn't know what it was for. I didn't really pay that much. I think it was like in a YouTube ad, something like that, man.
And you know what? listen, the Avengers Endgame cast is insane.
Great.
But if there's one
Shout out
movie,
Robert Downey Jr.
one of the most charismatic, I think arguably the most charismatic guy in Hollywood. But okay, all right. And first of all, I just want to make a prelude. I'm pretty sure Burt Reynolds was supposed to be in this too, but rest in peace, the late great Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, passed away in September of 2018. But anyways, so you have Leonardo DiCaprio.
Nice.
Okay, you have
Already
Leonardo
nice.
DiCaprio. Okay, right there. You sold me just on that.
Perfect, yeah.
Margaret Robbie. You
What?
have, she's in there. She's Sharon Tate in that movie. You have Brad Pitt. You have Al Pacino.
Ooh.
Dakota Fanning.
Okay.
Kurt Russell. Tim Roth. You have Michael Madsen in that movie.
Wow. Michael Madsen?
Yeah, he is in the cut. You have Damian Lewis. Who else would be worth noticing? Bruce Dern. If you watch The Hateful Eight, he was in The Hateful Eight. He was the old guy.
Yeah.
So that's Bruce Dern.
Is that Laura Dern's husband?